Hey crafters, it's me Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and today is Free Play Friday. So if you missed us last week, we started a new series on foiling. So if you're interested in using rubber stamps and glue and laminator to do some foiling on paper and come up with some stunning cards much like these that I have in frame right now, then you're going to want to stick around for this video. Maybe go back and watch number 1 and then check us out for number 3 and 4 on the next 2 consecutive Fridays. Usually what I do if you're new to my channel is I welcome people that are coming in and talk to the community that I have built up here that joins us on the live chat. I'm going to just move a few things over here. So we've got Barbara and Monica already. If you see someone in blue, hi Penny. They are our moderators. Give them lots of love because they are here to help us keep out all the junk that sometimes can come in on a live stream. Again, we are doing foil. This is the kind of foil that we're going to be using today. We're going to be doing stamping. So I'm going to do probably at least one background stamp, possibly this one. Hi, Lori. Diane, who else did I miss? Huntress. Where is the other one that I wanted to use? I've got lots of supplies laying out here, guys. Lots of stuff that I want to get to today. We'll see what we can get in. This is another one I was thinking would be really pretty. So one of these two probably will do as a regular stamp. If you are a part of the Quality Crafts group on Facebook, you will have seen several stamp sets that I put out that I said we would be using in this series. One of them is this one, which I believe we had a hard time finding this one so that other people could get it. Let me show it down here too. I really do like this one. It's a Heidi Grace one called Girlfriends. We had a hard time finding places for you guys to get this one, so I went ahead and got another one. And this is the one we're going to be using today. It's from Hampton Art. And what do they call this one? Hampton Art. Maybe it doesn't have a name. It's got a number on it, though. SC0749. Right here in this corner. Anyway, if you're looking for that. This is located in Quality Crafts on Facebook. This one is the one that I used for this card. So if you're looking for these flowers, it was this flower right here with this one stamped in the middle, and that's how I came up with that. And also the leaves, really cool. I used this leaf down here and then this part of the leaf as well. Hey Raggedy! W. Bailey. Excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Weird. And then this one was, I used a different one. So I used this one. Oops, let me get back in frame here. This one was the part that I foiled, and that went on the same flower background. It's called Joy. Thank you. Why don't they have that on here? Or maybe I'm just not seeing it. Okay, Hampton Art set called Joy. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to put these off to the side. I typically get started on my Friday free plays by 5 minutes after the hour. So right now I'm just kind of talking to you guys and putting out some of the things that we're going to get to today. Let's see. There's one other thing that I didn't put in on this one, but I'd like to give it a shot. And if I have time, we'll be putting it in tonight. We did a couple of what we called fails. This is the word believe. And it's foiled, but some of the sticky parts are still sticky, and it didn't foil completely. And I'm thinking that this might be about the width of an embossing folder. So if I can do one of these again today and run it through my embossing folder, or through my Cuttlebug, like it's an embossing folder, that maybe that will give us a better turnout. We wondered if maybe it was just that it sinks too far into the wood, or we're not really sure. But anyway, I'm going to give this a try if we get time today. If not, it will run into week 3 or week 4. So today we're basically going to be doing some regular stamping using a Versamark pad, which here's the difference between VersaFine and Versamark. Versamark is a clear ink pad. It's just clear ink. There's, you know, shiny. And then a VersaFine is black ink. And I love this ink pad. This is the one that I would say my go-to. Always, always. So we'll be using Versamark and clear embossing powder. Now, to use this technique, you can use any color embossing powder you want, but the clear is the best because if you don't cover it, you're not going to see it. So you could also do white on white. Aleene, are you new? Welcome. Janet Smith. What else am I missing? Sweet Drop. Giovanna. My goodness, do we have some new people here tonight? That is so cool. And I'm going to use clear. So like I'm saying, if you're going to do one on a card background and all you have is white on white, that would be fine too, because then if something doesn't cover, you're just seeing the white. So it's not going to ruin the look of, look of whatever you're doing. Now, if you want a grunge look, go ahead and do like black underneath. That way you'll have some black sticking out. It might look kind of cool. So it all depends on what kind of project that you're starting out with. So we're going to do that. And then we're also going to do, I'm going to use Aleene's Tack It Over and Over. I'm going to put some down on my mat here, and we're going to do some stamping with that. And then we're going to do some cuddlebugging. I'm also going to, and I'm going to turn that on right now, right underneath my little desk here, I'm going to pull it up here, is my Amazon, and my laminator. Okay. Just making sure everything's in place here. We're going to go turn this on to the 3 mil. There's a 3 mil, and I know you can't see that really well. There's a 3 mil and a 5 mil, and then an off position, okay? There's also a release button if you need the release button on the back. I highly recommend this one. Penny, if this one's not linked, if people are wondering where they can get an inexpensive laminator, link them to this one. This one's really nice. I'm going to put this one underneath, and hopefully if it's not too hot, every time we laminate, I'll put it back on the desk so you can see it come through. If it's too hot, then I'll laminate underneath, and I'll do the ultimate reveal for you on camera, okay? So, Aleene's Tack It Over and Over and Versamark with embossing powder. The Tack It Over and Over is going to be sticky on its own, so we don't need to put it through the laminator. But I will put it through the Cuttlebug so that it has a lot more force going through. A heavier force and even pressure will make your foiling turn out just that much better. So because I don't want to forget to do the embossing, I'm going to put together those cards for you that you just saw. And I want to have time to do all that. So I'm going to cut this card down, and we're going to do the background stamp first, and I'm going to do it on this off-white card. I'm going to foil it in rose gold, and I think we'll use this one because this one's really pretty. I want to see how the rose gold looks on this, and it should be really, really stunning. Because I didn't do the embossing powder on the 2 cards that I did. I did it the other way. So I want to make sure that you guys realize that you can do it both ways. Whatever supplies you have on hand at home, or maybe you find something today that just seems easier on you because of any kind of ailment you have or arthritis you have in your hands or whatever. Because the laminator is definitely going to be way easier on you than the Cuttlebug, or unless you have one of the automatic ones that are electric, which I just totally cannot wait to get that new one that's electric. Thanks, Lori, for reminding people to give a thumbs up if you're enjoying this series or just because you really like the channel. Yay, new people! Whoop, whoop! There was something else I was going to say about that. No, I can't remember. Anyway, so right now what I'm doing is I'm doing I'm going to just go back through this so that you guys don't get confused. I'm doing Versamark. Okay? That's that sticky clear. I'm going to put that right on my paper. And you know what? I'm going to pull this right off the edge. If you ever wonder why you can't get a really good impression with a big stamp like this, go ahead and put your paper on the stamp and then hold it with one hand and press it with the other, like I'm doing here. You'll get a much more uniform stamp. If you're having troubles with it, try this. The Gemini, woo! Yes, Lori, that's what I really want. I'm gonna peel that up. You're not gonna be able to see much now, or probably after I do the clear embossing powder. But you will notice it when I foil it, obviously. So I'm using just a regular clear embossing powder. I think the more like extra fine you can get it, the better. If you don't want it to end up smashing out, and like if you did ultra thick embossing enamel, like something like that, you probably wouldn't get the detail you're looking for, and that's just what I mean. If you want it to be detailed. By the way, I think I did start around 5 minutes after the hour. So if I hold this up in just a way, you can see all that powder that's sitting on there right now. We're actually going to heat set that. I'm just scratching my wrist because all of a sudden I got this really need to itch there. Okay. To get my heat gun here unraveled. All right, we're gonna heat set this with a regular heat gun. Alright, so we should be able to tell that it's like almost like a two-tone, and it's clear, so it's all shiny. Ooh, I don't know if it's my watch that's me. It's like, feel like all of a sudden I have like this, I have an allergic reaction or something. I'm not, but I feel like it. Okay, this is not sticky. This is just regular embossing powder, okay? So I just want to show you that. It's not sticky like the glue is going to be later on. So that was Versamark. Okay, and clear embossing powder. And all we did was heat set that. Now we're going to decide what color we want to do, which I want to do rose gold. I'm going to show you guys that I pulled out a whole bunch of different colors that you can get. Ooh, did that all of a sudden make my camera go wonky? It's probably like, what is that? So there's just tons of colors that you can get this in. These are all Deco Foil colors. You can even get it in black. You see it's shiny black there? That's pretty cool. Aqua, purple. So you just have to kind of look through and see what colors you like and what you want. You could start out with just a couple. This one, I believe, is the rose gold. It almost looks like a tan. It's super pretty. Alright, and then you just cut a piece slightly bigger, or, you know, pretty darn close to the size that you need. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Wow, hello from Holland. Alright, that one there. And now, like I said, we are going to put this through the laminator. Now, you can put this through the laminator with nothing on it, but I recommend putting it in a piece of printer paper. You can also use a piece of, what are they saying to use? Parchment paper, yeah. I'm just going to use printer paper because that's something that like we all have on hand. Maybe you don't have any parchment paper sitting around, right? You want to make sure that you have your foil all on there, covering the whole design, and then put it in. And then put the folded part in your laminator first. Mine says it's ready. It's cool to the touch on the side, so I'm going to bring it up here. And you can watch real time as this runs through here. Now, because I have mine in a sheet, you know, a protective sheet here, I'm going to run it through twice just to make darn sure we have full coverage on this. And there it goes. Should have got some music out to play while we were waiting for it. Do 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 do. Let's have a drink, shall we? Cheers! And here it comes, folks. It's the race between the turtle and the hare. And you know, the turtle always wins. One more time, for good measure. Probably don't have to, but you know. I have seen where some people have done this before and maybe it wasn't hot all the way, or maybe their folder or whatever they put it in was too thick or something and it didn't go all the way through. So if you put it through twice, you know it's going to get heat, you know, through there. Okay, Brenda, see you later, Tater. I don't recognize the name A.E. Jan 4. Are you new, or am I just like not remembering that name? Okay, let me put the laminator back down and let's check this out. And before we do the reveal, I know people are just popping in and they're going to want to know. So what we did was we used Versamark clear embossing powder and this background stamp. And we heat set that embossing powder and then we ran it through the laminator twice for good measure. So let's do the reveal and see what we have here. We used rose gold foil. Oh, I'm a little bummed by that. It looks like almost like there was too much embossing and powder on there. But even so, this is going to make a really cool background. You never know what you're going to get. Maybe running it through 2 times was too much. But here's also the back, like the negative space that we have, so we can use that as well. And that'll be in a different video. I'm not going to use the negative space today. But this is not my favorite way to do this, but I am going to do another one similar to that, just so you can see another one going through there. And we'll just do it one time. This time I'm going to use a white one. Move a few things out of my way here. And we'll do something cool, like maybe a blue, a pretty blue. Unless you guys want to vote on the color. Do you want to vote on the color? Maybe a green. Blue or green? You guys go ahead and vote. We're going to do the other background stamp, this one. I thought it would come out a lot more evenly too, W. Bailey. I'm wondering if maybe I ran it through the heat two times was too much. Let's try this one and see if we get a different kind of a look. I do try to catch as many comments of your guys that I can while I'm live, but you know, sometimes I just get so into my art, I forget to look up. We're going to end this video with my favorite kind, which is using the Cuttlebug and the Aleene's Tack It. I just have had the most success with it, and to me it's like the easiest way to do it. Less steps and just, I don't know, I just get really good results. Alright, that was the clear embossing powder, and we hold it up so you can see that that powder is sticking to the card. We'll go ahead and heat set this. That looks pretty good. Okay. Did we vote? Did we get any's? Blue, blue, blue. Okay, mostly what I see is blue, so let's stick with that. I'm going to use this really pretty light blue. This is really neat. Alright, this time we're only going to put it through one time. And see if maybe it was the fact that we had just too much heat, that maybe it just made all that embossing powder just ooze all over the place. I got some of my powder coming in here. Alright, there we go. One more check that we've got that in place. Yep. Oh, guys, I almost forgot to mention. Do you see my shirt? I had a little bit of a problem the first couple of times I did foil, so we made ourselves a shirt here. It says, shiny side up. Don't forget, Jen, shiny side up. We are going to be doing more shirts, but not today. A different video. So if you want to stick around to see how you can get that onto a shirt. I should have stuck this in here before I started gabbing. We'd have had something to talk about. So yeah, we are going to do another t-shirt. Yeah, if you've been there, if you've been around my channel, you know what happened with that. I just could not remember shiny side up. Hi, Cindy. Hey, Tracy. All right, this came through already. Let's check it out. It looks a little mashed to me again. Not as clear as I was hoping for it to be. Not my favorite way of doing this, but these are still going to be really pretty on a back side of a card. So I'm going to hang on to those because my favorite one is what we're going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off. I want to show you how I did these because these turned out pretty darn fabulous and they're very even looking. Okay, so, and I'm going to show you how to make this whole card in its entirety. So let's go ahead and do, we'll start out with these flowers. Do you guys want to do a different color of flower? Let me know what the 2-color palette you want to be. Like this one was pink and yellow. We can do a 2-color pattern, so let me know. Yeah, Bailey, that was still not perfect. I'm going to show you this technique because this one's my ultimate favorite. I have some paper here. I'm going to pull out that stamp that I used and show you how I pulled this card off. This one's really cool. You can do it with the sticky embossing powder too. Barbara mentioned that, but he also does say that you have to be like ready like right now to do that. Because if you're not ready and you let that sit for too long, the sticky will just disappear. And then he rubs it with his finger. Ah, see, so Huntress Habit says that sticky powder works awesome for her and she says it's easy. This one that I'm going to show you now, this is my personal favorite. This is what I have the most success with. So we need a vote on a two-color pattern for this. My original one was a pink and like yellow. Pam wants to know if we can use a brayer instead of the Cuttlebug. I don't think that I could push that brayer as hard as the Cuttlebug could push. I honestly don't think it would make much difference than if you used your finger. Cheers! Okay. Do we have any, we don't have any votes on what color you guys want to do? So I can just go ahead and do whatever color I want. I think it works the best if you pick one dark and one light. Ooh, pink and purple. All right, Bailey, pink and purple it is. So the very background of the stamp, and we're going to get to the foiling in a minute, but I'm going to do this whole card in its entirety exactly how I did this. So you can see something made from beginning to end, done with the foiling and everything all together. So the first thing I'm going to do is the pink and the purple in the background. And you can see from this paper, that's what I used in, originally. So picked raspberries and what other one do I want to do? That's pink. I have seedless preserves, but I feel like they're not really... Well, let's just go for it and see what we get. I feel like they're really close in color for some reason. Like super close, but let's give it a go. And I'm using the oxides for this, so you want to make sure that you put some of it just around sporadically, but like alter it so that a little bit of it will stick out after we do that other like zebra top. And because we're doing the zebra part over the top, it's really not going to make a lot of difference how perfect you do these colors underneath. So don't stress about that. I'm going to add a little bit more purple. Alrighty, and just so that when I do the stuff over the top of it, so that I don't get all this like on my fingers and all over the white parts. Hey Marcel. Hey Arrow Mama. I'm going to wipe my fingers off with the wet wipe, and then I'm going to use my homemade powder tool to put some powder on here and just go over the top of it so I don't get that stuck on all my white parts. I just found that helps me get rid of a little bit of that. Okay, and now you're probably wondering, like, what kind of dye did I use to do the zebra background, right? Well, I didn't have the dye, so I used a craft knife and my little green guy here so that I didn't cut up my mat or my surface. And I did my own, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Just kind of make it up as you go and make the lines a little bit, some straight, some crooked, that kind of a thing. So we are going to go ahead and just, I want to make sure this is attached well so I don't hurt myself. And I'm just going to drag it down and make them a little wonky. If you're wanting to know where I got this idea from, I got it from a blog and it is listed in the description box below. So if you want to find out what she used, I think she did use a dye. So if you're interested in that, you'll have to find out there. I just thought that this was a lot easier. Maybe not so easy because of, if your hands can't handle this type of a thing, but just easier in the fact that I didn't have to go looking for anything. I had the tools right here at my disposal. And I just feel like it's so easy to just do these little cuts. And I'm just making it up as I go along, guys. This isn't going to look probably anything like the one I originally did. And you can use the negative spaces if you want. I'm just tossing them in the garbage as I go. just want to make sure that you're leaving the border around the edge, so you don't want to cut too much off of like one side. I hope that makes sense. Because you want the whole thing, you know, to stay together. So that you can put some glue on it and glue it to the back. Or should I say the top of your card base. Okay, make sure you leave some in the middle too, because otherwise if you cut through the middle, it's kind of like when you cut on the fold lines when you're making snowflakes in kindergarten and first grade. If you cut all the folded lines, you're going to end up with a bunch of different pieces, right? And you don't want that. All right. And that's it. That's how I got the background. Just go kittywampus and have fun with it. That's relaxing to me. Doing stuff like this is relaxing. So we're going to pull out that piece that I just made, and this is going to go right over the top of it. And I'm hoping that you guys don't mind that I mixed a couple of different techniques with the foiling today. I just thought that this card was so amazingly fun that I just couldn't not do it. So I'm going to flip this over and put glue on the back side, and I'm just going to use regular Aleene's tacky glue. I'm just going to make sure that I have it on the edges. And then a little down each row. Because you want to make sure that all of your edges are sticking, all of the ends. Because if those don't stick, then it's going to come back up. Okay, and all of the little points. You want to make sure that you get glue on all those little points. So those don't come back up either. And then just put a little down every little walkway here. Okay, you can always add more glue if you feel like you missed a spot, and I try not to move it around too much afterwards. Get it down about where you want it to go. You can always trim if you need to. And then I'm going to flip it over and give it a rub, because I don't want that glue on my fingers to get on the front and show. Okay. And so that's the front. That's how it's going to be. You guys did an awesome job spelling kittywampus. I love it. All right, so now we're going to get to the foiling part. First, we're going to make our flowers in whatever color we want. And I'm thinking that since we did pink last time, and since we've got a little purple in here, we'll do the flowers purple. And I'm wondering, do you guys want to go with the same purple, or should I grab a darker purple in the, what do you call it? Dusty Concord I have. Let me see what else. Shaded Lilac is going to be lighter, so maybe we don't want to do that one. But maybe Dusty Concord. That one's a little bit darker. How about we try that one? Make the flowers just a little bit darker. The only difference is the background of the flowers is going to be a little bit more grungy or spotty because it's a distress ink when you compare it to how solid the other ones turned out. Now, one thing I could do is I could just stamp this a couple of different times. And if you've got a way to do that with any kind of a stamp, there I did it twice. If you've got a clear stamp, it's not that hard, but if you have like a MISTI or a stamp tool or whatever, you can go ahead and just put your stamp in that and use that. I'm not going to worry about how exact I am, because I'm going to hand cut all of these anyway. So they might turn out a little bit crooked anyway. I think I'll do 5. 5 is generally what I've been using. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be plenty. Okay, so now we've got that nice, beautiful dark purple. Clean off that stamp, and we're going to grab the other one. This is the one we're going to foil now. So we're going to be using this one. It's the same one that I did in this card right here. So that's, okay, that's the shape. And this is what I'm going to do this time. I just think this turns out so awesome. This is Aleene's Tack It Over and Over Again. And when it dries, it remains tacky. So I'm just going to put a pile of it on here. I'm going to take a brush, not too wet, but just enough to spread this out here. Okay, and then I'm going to really rinse that brush out quick so I don't have it all full of glue. I have my rinse well right off the side here. And then that's the glue or the stamp pad I've created that I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to just stamp it right in the middle of these flowers. You won't be able to see that very well as I go. Just want to make sure that you don't slide it and get like a slidey, strange look. Tap it up and down so that it spreads out and that you get, you know, some on all of the pieces of it. Less is more. Okay, you don't want it super thick, because if it's super thick, make sure you wipe these off right away. If it gets super thick, somebody said use the powder tool, and I didn't. Oh. I should have been watching you guys. Thanks, Atomi. Anyway, less is more, because if it's super thick, then like the one that we put through the laminator, it's just going to smoosh out and look kind of gross. If I tilt this in the light, you'll be able to see that shiny glue on there yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little heat tool and I'm going to heat that so that it dries some. And if you put it on super light, this shouldn't take long at all. And the thing about this is that it's sticky. Okay? You hear that? It's sticky. That's what Aleene's Tack It Over and Over is. It stays sticky when it's dry. I'm looking for the cover because I just set it down and now I can't find it. Oh, it's already on there. We got it. Okay, so we're going to do this in, well, we didn't pick, did we? Do we want to do gold again? Or do we want to do silver? Or a different color? You guys vote. We could do a two-tone. Let me pull this out. We could do this one. This like two-tone purple pink. It looks yellow, but trust me, there's no yellow here. It's like a pink and purple. I say either that or maybe silver. Kind of like that. I'm thinking maybe you guys will like that. What do you think of that? I think I'm going to go with it. I don't think you guys will mind. Oh, we got a silver. Pink and purple two-tone silver. Ah! Gold and magenta. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do this one. I did do a silver one. If you're wondering how the silver turns out, this was silver on blue. Totally pretty. And we are not putting this through the laminator, guys. We're running it through the Cuttlebug. This is my favorite way to do this. Okay, let's peel this off. If they don't peel off right away, I use my finger to give it a little bit more of a push, but you shouldn't need too much. And those turned out so cool. So cool. This is my favorite way to do it. Totally my favorite way. All right, let me put that off to the side. And then all I did was go ahead and just fussy cut these out. And we're going to do one more foiling thing there because we're going to have to do some leaves. Okay, so what we're doing is we're rebuilding this card here, and we did it in a different color pattern today, so we did pink and purple instead of the yellow. These are our purple flowers, and we did the flowers a darker purple. And now when I go through and fussy cut these, all I have to do is make sure that I'm within that purple. I don't have to follow the exact pattern of that petal if I don't want to. I don't have to be really super careful about where I'm cutting that, as long as I'm cutting off all the white. Okay? And you're like, but Jen, that foiling isn't dead on center in middle of that flower. No, it's not, but that's okay. And I just took a little snip down each one of these petals. Even if it doesn't line up, it doesn't matter. Should be 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, if you have the back side of a mouse pad, that will be the exact same thing as this little pad, because I believe this was Stampin' Up, and I don't know that, is it? Yeah, Stampin' Up. I don't think they sell this kit anymore. But it comes with this mat, and then I'm just using one of my stylus things here, and just pushing in the middle to raise up those petals. And that's what happens when you do that. So this is what it looks like from the back side, because you've done those little cuts. And that's the front side. Okay, and that's how I got that look of that card. And then in the inside you can see I added some gems for a little added sparkle. So at this point in the video we have about 20 minutes left, and I want to see from your perspective, do you want me to finish doing this card? Or do you want to see me do a little bit more foiling or jump into doing one of these wooden ones so we can see what happens with that? Because I could do this kind of foiling with the Cuttlebug and the glue all day. But now that you guys know how to do it, you can just take it and run with it, right? If you can't get the Aleene's Tack It Over and Over glue, there's also the Deco Foil one. If you can get Deco Foil, there's the Deco Foil adhesive that looks like this. And there's also the gel. And Penny, tell me, you used the gel, right? And did you use, when you did the gel with your stencil, did you run it through the laminator? Or did you run it through... Ooh, Christy Kinsey says E6000 for anything foil is the bomb. That's interesting. I have never tried that. But I want to know from Penny, when you did your transfer gel, this stuff right here, did you use Cuttlebug or did you use Laminator? Okay, so these are two other kind of glues you can use. There's also one called Flitter glue, which I have not used, but I've seen other people use. This is the sticky embossing powder people are talking about. Oh. So Penny used the Cuttlebug and Huntress used the Laminator for the gel. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to set these guys aside now that you guys know how to finish that one off. And let's play around with this wood, because I really want to try to put this through the Laminator. So if we put the Aleene's Tack it over and over on here, let's see what we get. So our theory was that maybe it just soaks too far into the wood. Then we thought, well, maybe we should try the gel, and that didn't work. I'm just making sure I get plenty on there. And then I'm going to dry it. That should work. Get my glue rinsed out of that brush so I can reuse it. You could probably hear the rinse well filling back up. Glug, 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 glug. Oh no, I spit a little water on my background. So I'm gonna have a little bit of spritzing look on the background of that, which will be really cool. Alright, let's go ahead and dry that a bit. So when we did these, this was just rubbing it with our fingers. So it covered pretty well. It's just that it didn't cover perfectly. And it was kind of making us crazy. Like, what can we do differently that'll make that really successful? If anyone else has worked with the wood, I would really like to know. Here's another one that looks really vintage. Like, I wonder if I just run like some black ink over the top of that, if we could just fill that in and it would look really cool. Like, we're not saying that these are completely a failure, but the point was that we were trying to get full coverage, and we didn't get full coverage. And we got a comment saying flitter glue is difficult. If there's links to things that you guys need, let me know. We'd be happy to search out some links and find you the best deals. We can do Dick Blick, eBay, Amazon, Blitsy. So, you know, this is getting super, super sticky and it's almost dry. I'm going to take one of my leftover pieces and we're going to run this through the Cuttlebug. Well, is that going to be big enough? No, I already have some pieces out of it. We do want to make sure it covers nice. Otherwise, it wouldn't be much of a test. Let's go ahead and use a piece of this. This is super cool. Shiny side up. Here we go. And let's pull in our Cuttlebug. And this is pretty thick, so we're thinking that that should be... see, it's not very sticky. I think it just oozes into the wood. And when we do a regular embossing folder, we usually don't use these. So I'm going to pull these out and see if this will go through. Hopefully I don't break the flower, but if I do, I do. That is going through okay, but I think we could probably add a little bit of a shim. I'm going to add some paper just to make it a little bit tougher to go through. Hopefully not so tough that I break the flower, but... And I'm making it go through a couple of different times. Let's see if we can get this to adhere pretty well to that wood. Let's see what we got. Oh, see? Do you see that? Almost 100% except for a couple of spots. And I don't know why it does that. Let's stick it through again. Just move that foil over a little bit. Okay, are we going to get any more coverage from this one? Let's find out. Nope. I think it's just too gooey. Too gooey. But check out what happened. It kind of flattened out the foil color, didn't it? Interesting. So we kind of got the same look. What if we did this one? Well, if we did the embossing folder, no, because we can't get that. We can't get that through the laminator. That's way too thick. What if we tried? Do we want to try the gel? Although we kind of had the same. We kind of got the same exact results from the gel. I don't know that I really want to try that again. I'm going to move that over. Let me just show you again some of the results we got from that. See the difference? Let's go ahead and put some black over this and see what happens. Because I know some people were wondering if this would be a complete resist or if it would go, if it would cover it up. And I think it would resist, but let's test that theory. Some of you guys who are like really into this stuff are probably like, what about toner, and what about using your printer, and what about this and that? We are definitely going to get to that in weeks 3 and 4. So hang tight. I hope you guys will stick with us. This is black ink oxide. I'm just going to see what this looks like as we put this over the top to cover in those spaces that didn't quite like foil over. I guess that's the best way to put it. All right. Do you see how that looks now? It looks kind of like some of the foil got taken away, right? What if we go over that lightly with a little bit of baby wipe and wipe that off? Is it going to wipe off all of the ink too? It does. It wipes off the ink as well. I honestly thought the ink would stay in the little pieces of wood, but I think because we used the glue underneath, that there's still glue there. It just wasn't enough glue to hold that on. I love experimenting with you guys. Because what is it if we can't experiment with all the stuff that we own, right? We gotta see what it can do. Yeah, look what happened though. It rubbed right off. So interesting. All right, let's move that off to the side. We have 7 minutes left. I really want to finish this card. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to finish this card with you. There's that little doodad. I'm going to put him right there so you guys can look at it. What I would love to see this week over at Quality Crafts is in the folder for Free Play Friday, I would love to see what you guys are doing with this foil. Because it seems to me some of you guys are super versed in this, like you've used it a lot. And some of you guys are like, well, I don't know, I've had it a while, but I haven't used it really. I'd like to see what you guys come up with. And share it so that we can all be inspired, because it might just take one little thing and for someone to go, oh, now I get it, or whoa, I can totally use that now. I didn't realize I could use such and such that's already in my stash. Now I don't have to go out and buy anything new. Or maybe you saw something tonight that was super cool and you're like, I really, really want to get that because that's going to help me get all my Christmas cards done this year. It could be the oils in the wood. Good point. Who said that? Tracy Myers. Yeah, I'm wondering if, though, because we did paint it with either the gel or the Aleene's, you know, putting that glue on there, that's going to, even if it does sink in, it's going to leave like a residual, either a sticky or some kind of a resist there. So that, I guess it shouldn't have surprised me, but I really thought that maybe the ink would stick. Yeah, like Lori said, the ink sealed the wood. So now the wood no longer has the porousness, the ability to be porous and soak it in anymore. Oh, what another cool idea here. Remember when I spilt water on my background? If you do this and you foil and then, do you see this, how that's a different color right here? If you do your stamp and then do your foil and then flick water on it, you can still use the ability of that distress ink to lift up some of that color. So how cool. What if you made your flowers too dark and you went, oh, but I still want to use these flowers, but they turned out really dark. You could sprinkle some water on there and lift off some of the color and the foil will still be there. How awesome is that? All right, we're going to go ahead and snip these guys. Snip, snip, snip. And then we're going to use that stylus tool to bump up our petals. Now, if you don't like the petals bumped up, they will flatten for shipping, obviously, for mailing. But if you don't like that look, then don't snip yours. Put yours on completely flat. That's okay. It's whatever you want that to turn out to be. It's your art. One more. I just like how quick these cards come to be. So I'm going to pull out that other little thing. Again, if you've got the back of a mouse pad, that will also work for this. You don't need anything fancy. I just don't even use a mouse pad, to be honest. I've got one laying around here somewhere, but my mouse is really finicky. I don't know why. It's a wireless one. And it works best straight on my desk with no mouse. So that's what I use it. That's how I use it now. I wish that Stampin' Up! Would still sell this because it came with the pokey tool and this and a way to do all of your little pokey things. They must still have something like this, I imagine. Maybe just something newer or different. Okay, and so all I did was toggle these up and down, kind of like that, and then put one a little bit higher. And that's how I arranged it. Oh, we need some leaves too. I have 2 leaves left over from the last time I made them. So maybe we'll just put in a couple leaves this time. That way you guys don't have to watch me make a whole bunch more leaves. Carpe Diem wants to know when you have thicker of 3D cards, what kind of envelopes do people use? if I'm going to make, I mean, you guys feel free to chime in, but if I'm going to make a card that's 3D like that, I'm going to be, especially if it's going to be really fancy, I'm going to make darn sure I give it to someone who really loves me and really loves what I do, and I'm going to hand give it. But if you're not, then I would mail it in a box, some kind of a protective box, not an envelope, because I wouldn't want to get wrecked. And I'm just using the ball of the stylus to push on where I put the glue on the bottom of my flowers so that they'll stay there. And when I put my leaves on, I give it a little push like this so that it rounds the leaf. And then I put the glue on the bottom of the leaf and decide where I'm going to put that. And then I just press down on it so that they stay. Okay, so I opted for this series in case some people are like, well, Jen, this is really dumb. This isn't what you normally do, or you didn't cover enough, or something like that. Because, you know, eventually there's somebody that's going to make a comment. I opted to go less on the techniques and more on creating something with it. Because what you guys let me know was that you really wanted to know, how do I use this stuff to create cards? Because otherwise, what's the point? All I have is all this fancy stuff sitting around and I don't know what to do with it. So that is the direction I went with this. So there's a card almost nearly finished. We are going to go ahead, we'll glue this onto a card base, and I'm going to add some bling here. I've got some of these little shiny blings here. This is a little bit different than what I put on the other one. It kind of picks up a kaleidoscope of colors. So I'm going to use these to put on the center of these flowers. You don't have to do a center. You can use other things for the centers. You could use pearls, because white pearls can be colored any color you want to color them with alcohol markers. So can these actually. So let's say I get these in here and I'd be like, oh, I don't really like that. I kind of want the center to be a dark purple, or, you know, that wasn't exactly what I was going for. You can color them with alcohol inks. And so that makes a really striking card. If you want to know some really, really simple techniques, maybe something that I didn't cover tonight, but, you know, like, what can I use that's laying around my craft room that I don't have to buy anything special, like double-sided tape and glue dots and stuff like that, go back and watch number 1 in this series. That'll cover a couple of other little things that were super, super easy and that worked out really well, really no-brainers, okay? I really feel like using the Aleene's Tack It over and over again like this, to me, is a no-brainer. It turns out just so beautiful. And if you want to know what I used on these leaves, because they glitter all kinds of colors, I used the green watercolor. Let me pull out a piece of that if I have it. There it is. Okay, so it was this one. It's yellow and green. And so there's actually a lot of colors that played out in that. That's why these leaves look so stunning the way they do. That's the color that I used. All right, Marcel, thanks for coming in. I always love to see you. Thanks hanging out. All right, and here's another one that I finished before. Super cute. This one has a lot more silver on it because I chose something that had a lot more pattern to fill that flower. And these have little blue gems right in the center. Isn't that cute? So cute. So really, right now, my total love for this would be using Aleene's Tack It over and over, using it as like a stamp, ink, if you will, and then stamping it wherever you want, just drawing, you know, a little goes a long way, you know, less is more. And then running it right through your Cuttlebug or your Big Shot or your whatever you have that runs things through. Yeah, super cute. I really love this stuff. And if you guys want this stamp set, it is also linked below. It's called Joy, and it's by Hampton Arts. So this is the one that I use to make most of that. And there's so much more you can do with this set that I haven't even covered. Look at, wouldn't this little dotted piece right here, I'm just waiting for it, it'll kick in. Wouldn't this little dotted piece right here look fantastic foiled in the center of a flower? Wouldn't these look fantastic foiled like on a Christmas card with some words? So much stuff you can do. We are going to get into next week doing stuff as far as toner goes. So if you have not an inkjet but a toner printer that uses that black powdery toner stuff is what we're talking about. Or if you don't have that, if you get the pre-made, I think Gina K makes them. You can also get them. I'm almost positive Blitzy has them. But there's a whole bunch of this stuff that I'm talking about linked right below in the description box, so you don't have to look for it. We're going to be doing toner next week. So there are sheets of toner if you don't have a printer. And there are sheets already printed with toner that all you have to do is foil it whatever color you want to foil it. So that's going to be super easy too. And then I'm also going to throw in a sticker. I think they're called Dazzles. Let me just give you a little quick sneak peek on that. Well, maybe I won't. I gotta find where I slapped down my Dazzles. Nope, they're hiding. But if you've ever heard of that, they're like clear stickers that are like sticky on both sides. Hi, Norma. We're just signing off, actually, Norma. Here's some of the stuff that we made today if you want to rewatch the video and check it out. It was super fun. I get so excited to do these on Friday. I'm just like, is it 5 yet? Is it 5 yet? Is it 5 yet? Because I can't wait to get in here and play and experiment and do fun stuff with you guys. So next week we're going to be working on the toner, like I said. Are there any last bit of questions or anything like that that I can cover right before we go? I know there's such a lag. We need lag time when we go into that. Don't forget to jump on Patreon and pledge your support for the channel, because right now and into infinity until I stop making them, everybody who is a patron will get every single progressive challenge digi. Regardless of whether you use it and follow the rules, there's no obligation. If you're a patron, you get the digi free every single month. So I want to let you guys know that. That's another bonus for people who jump on Patreon and decide to support this channel. You will also get exclusive videos and behind the scene videos that I do in that channel. And there's an envelope challenge that we only do in there. Fun stuff, so you want to check it out. And aside from the 12 that I do throughout the year, I will throw in other digis and other fun stuff that we only do exclusively in that group. So now is a really good time to join. Hit a thumbs up. Let me know you like it on your way out. And if you really love the channel, please share it with a friend. That would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I can't wait to see you guys next video.